these people, Calgary, Oxford, Connecticut, Philly, of course, LaPointe, Tampa, New Zealand, yeah, Olivia, San
Woo!
Antonio, New Buffalo, Charlotte, that's KP, Boulder, awesome, Framingham, yes, Lake 17 in Hazelhurst, Wisconsin. It sounds like a Garrison Keeler episode. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started. This Monday on Kathy's here. Yay, your publishing twin. Um, so listen, we're welcoming Cara Papa tonight, everybody, for Monday night reading. How does it feel, Cara, that you're here when you have attended these and when you were just trying to write a first draft? How do you feel?
I feel proud. That's my feeling. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a weird feeling, and I feel very grateful. Um, my experience was long and painful. I'm glad I'm on the other side, and I celebrated this weekend with my friends and my family, and I just took a moment to like take it in. So I feel very, very proud is my feeling.
Awesome. I'm so excited. So here's Kara's book, Big Freakin' Change. Hold it up if you've got it. How to gain confidence by stepping out before you are ready. Yay! Now, Laura is going to put in the chat a link so you can purchase it. If you do not have a copy, we are asking you to pick one up today if it fits your budget. If you do have a copy, maybe you know someone who also needs one, so you can pick one up today if it fits your budget. There's a link in the chat. You can choose the place you want to order. At the end of this call, um, we are going to do a fun thing for Kara. So I hope you'll stay all the way to the end because we've got something really cool that we're going to do that we would love for you to participate in. And right now, I'm going to turn it over to Laura Stone, who will introduce Kara properly.
I would love to. So, Cara Moeller Poppitt is a work and a wonder, and one of Top 3 Book Workshop's greatest success stories. She's also an accomplished leader dedicated to helping professionals break through barriers, take bold action, and achieve their highest aspirations. With 20 years of experience as a dancer and choreographer, she understands the powerful connection between mindset, movement, and transformation. And in her work, she applies these connections to individuals and organizations. As the founder of 2 award-winning companies, Cara ranks among the top 2% of female entrepreneurs, a testament to her visionary leadership and strategic insight. She's guided over 10,000 entrepreneurs towards unlocking their full potential, combining creativity with business acumen to drive growth and innovation. And if you've ever seen her speak, you've experienced this for yourself. Cara's accolades include being named Global TV's Woman of Vision and CIBC's Entrepreneur of the Year. And just today, she was featured as one of the best books of 2025 in Forbes. Based in Calgary, Canada, she continues to inspire professionals worldwide, delivering results-oriented coaching and speaking that drives meaningful change. And I'll put in the chat ways you can stay connected to Cara. AJ?
Sorry, I was muted. Thank you, Laura.
Thank
Uh,
you.
did everybody see Trevor's pom poms?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, Trevor, you're the best. Oh,
Oh man, I love it. Okay, so you know what I'm gonna ask you, right?
my book fundamentals.
Yes, you know what you're gonna do. Who did you write this book for?
Okay, so I wrote the book for women that are feeling lost, stuck, disconnected, or unfulfilled, and they're wanting to make a significant change in their life, but they're waiting to feel ready. And what they may not realize is they are also dealing with low self-confidence because the model of confidence that we have in society is backwards. My core message is that readiness is not a state of being, but it's a feeling that comes after you take action. And my promise is that after readers learn the Get Unstuck Cycle of Change model, they'll be able to step out and gain confidence before they feel ready.
Love, love, love. So good. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you some questions, but first want you to read. So why don't you set it up for us? What are you going to read first?
Well, I thought because we're in AJ's group, Author Collective, I wanted to share a story about the experience that I had.
Oh,
That's
okay. Well, wait, you know what? I forgot to say something.
oh, say it.
I forgot to say that during Monday night reading, we like to give positive feedback to the author, and we do that by sharing something that resonates while we listen, maybe a line or something. And of course, nothing negative. If you have anything negative, tonight is not the night for that. So we'll put something in the chat. We give the chat to the author, and it's a very treasured thing for them to have. And it's cool because when you see a bunch of people putting the same thing down in the chat, you can see what really resonates with people. I hope you noticed that, Kathy, yeah, yeah. Kathy just had a Monday night reading incidentally last week, and you can watch that on YouTube, by the way. So, those of you who are used to Monday night reading, lead the way, and everybody else you can follow suit. All right, so here you're gonna read your excerpt, and when you're done, I've got some questions for you.
Okay, great. Here we go. So this section is from chapter 1, and I talk about why women wait. So I want to be real with you and let you know that I have done my own fair share of waiting. In fact, I waited for more than 10 years to feel ready to write this book. 10 whole years waiting to have more time and more energy to do it, waiting for it to feel right, and for me to feel ready. I waited for over a quarter of my life, but that feeling of readiness never did arrive, and it never does, not on its own. You create it and make space for it, whatever your it may be. The truth is, I was stuck. I didn't have the slightest idea how to write a book. I couldn't even figure out what the first step should be. It didn't help that I had a learning disability in elementary school and was years behind my classmates in reading and writing. Even though I eventually caught up, it still sometimes shows up as a limiting belief. But if I'm honest with myself, I was also afraid. What if I started it but couldn't finish it? What would that say about me? What if I finished it but it wasn't any good? What would that say about me? I knew I needed to develop some new skills, so I signed up for an online book workshop and met the most amazing, accomplished group of doctors, authors, leaders, speakers, and business owners, and the very best writing coach, AJ Harper from New York City. Give it up for AJ in the house, everyone. I was intimidated and it did not feel ready, to say the least, but a voice inside of me said, go anyway. On the last day of class, I put up my hand, as I always did, and asked a question of the group. What gets in your way of doing what you really want to do? I asked. I was in awe of these brilliant humans and wanted to test my philosophy on the brightest minds while I had direct access to them. Their responses started flooding the Zoom chat. Lack of time, more lack of time, more lack of time, 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 time. These responses were automatic reactions that came with no effort. I had assumed that money would not be an issue due to their level of success, but time kept showing up. Then I asked if I could give you 24 more hours a day and it did not cost anything, what else would get in your way? The chat was silent. It became obvious that these professionals had probably never thought about this before. Perhaps you have never thought about this either. Then the real answers started to trickle in slowly, one at a time. The Harvard professor wrote first, not feeling ready or having enough credentials. My jaw dropped. The top salesperson for a massive multinational makeup company chimed in, not feeling ready, or who am I to do this? A sense of ease came over me as my book idea solidified. If top performers and leaders with doctorate degrees didn't feel ready, then this feeling clearly exists for everyone. No amount of success can make you feel ready for something you haven't tried yet. We all want to feel ready before we do the thing we really want to do. Naturally, we disguise our hesitation as a lack of time and money because it's easier to justify those reasons. Limited resources are a real barrier for people. And even when they're not, we accept and understand those reasons whenever they are given. But when we really think about what it would take for us to feel ready, if resources were not an issue, we get to the heart of the matter. Your fears show up disguised as a lack of time, lack of money, or some other logistical challenge. Really, it's the fear of embracing a new identity, fear of being seen, fear of failure, and fear of success, which are all about the big fear of change. We are all scared of change. Telling ourselves that we are not ready gives us an excuse to stay stuck. We give a reason for why we have not done what we really want to do. Does this sound familiar to you? As a girl with a learning disability, I was severely behind in reading and writing and struggling in school. Now I'm a woman who wrote a book. I'm an author. For me, that was one big freaking change, and it wasn't easy. A BFC is a meaningful change, and it's harder than you could ever possibly imagine and more rewarding than you could ever dream of. You only get to experience it if you have the courage to pursue it. And yes, it may take more time than you ever imagined, but will it be worth it? Yes. Just as I got over my own fears and took massive action and completed my course, factors outside my control came into play and knocked me down. My computer crashed one day after submitting my manuscript, leaving me without all of my research. My editor changed companies, and then my Los Angeles publisher closed up shop, and I had to start the process again. OMG. Trust me when I say I could have found a million reasons to give up, but I didn't want to live with regret, and I don't want that for you either. BFCs often come with obstacles that you need to maneuver around. What we need to know is that it's okay to not feel ready and to do it anyway. I want you to know the secret to reaching your goals is not as hard as you may think, and it is possible for you. If you're feeling discontent in an area of your life, it's not a sign that something's necessarily wrong, and it's not a sign that something within you is broken. It's a signal that something better is possible for you, that something better is available to you if you lean forward and take it. In fact, discontent is the birthplace of many dreams. Just like the inner voices of fear and self-criticism, discontent can actually provide us with a wonderful insight if we have the courage to listen. Yet, most of us just stay stuck, unable to step toward that dream and make those changes we want. We think we need to have confidence before we take action, so we stay waiting and stay stuck. It's okay to acknowledge that you're stuck and that you want more out of your life, and then give yourself permission to make change. But many of us won't change because we tend to overestimate the challenges facing us and underestimate all the ways that our life has prepared us for this particular moment. We are so often wiser, stronger, and more capable than we give ourselves credit for. Massive growth happens through the challenges and changes we experience in life. Let's talk about big freaking change. Some changes happen without any input from us at all. Those are the changes that happen to us and are largely unavoidable. Others happen with ease, requiring only minimal effort on our part. But the changes that I'm most interested in for you and for myself are the changes that light a spark within us. You know the ones I'm talking about. This is the change that occupies your mind during the day and keeps you awake at night. This is the change that scares your panties off and inspires you to put your big girl panties on. This is the change that speaks to the depth of your soul and makes you question whether or not you have what it takes to make. These are the changes that can make a significant impact not only on your life, but also on the lives of many others. This is what I call your BFC, your big freaking change. Significant, pivotal, life-defining, monumental change that promises to not only change your circumstances, but to also change you in the process. The change you avoid and the change you know you need to make. This book is about making that kind of change, a BFC. If only you knew how to make it, right? If only you weren't too scared to take the first step and then the second and even the third step. If only you could find the confidence, the clarity, and the courage to make it. If only you knew how to make the change. Every BFC has the potential to serve as a picture frozen in time, marking the before and after moment for you. A change so significant that it defines a pivotal era of your life for the rest of your life. A BFC provides you with the perspective of that was then and this is now. A BFC may be taking that gap year to travel, which changes your perspective on the world and ends up shifting your career path. Perhaps your BFC is starting that first business in your free time, which increases your appetite for risk and you start playing bigger. Your BFC may be ending that relationship, which gives you the space to see a pattern that kept repeating and allows you to show up in your next relationship as a healthier version of you. Although it can be hard to determine which changes will have that kind of impact in advance, our intuitive mind drops hints all the time. In my experience, these show up as daydreams and are quiet moments when our minds are left to dance in an open space or play on the playground of possibility. Pay very close attention to the moves they make. These kinds of changes also show up as whispers trying to get your attention or repeated thoughts that surface. They will pull on your heart, occupy your mind, and are available for the taking, if and only if you have the courage to listen. Should I keep going? We're good? Okay.
Yeah, it was good. Yes. Incidentally, I would like to point out that Big Freaking Change, in addition to being the number one business book in the Forbes recommendation list yesterday, was also one of the most anticipated self-help book according to Indigo, which if you don't know what Indigo is, it's like Canada's version of Barnes and Noble, so that is no small thing. Also, a tremendously awesome rave reviews from trade journals. Miss, I was struggled with learning disabilities in reading and writing. Can we just say? Can we just say? Critically acclaimed from people who are meanies about it. Still critically acclaimed. Okay, just had to say that. That was very satisfying for me to say. I bet you didn't think that was going to happen. You just wanted to get your book done and you wanted it to be the best it could be, but be straight with me. Did you think it was going to be critically acclaimed?
No, like I was nervous getting my reviews. I was like, oh gosh. And I got the first one and I'm like, oh, and page two mentioned, don't take it too personal, like it's a disclaimer. And I read it and I was like, this is great. Like I got an A- on this and they gave me this. So it was great. So I got two really good ones. And then the third one that came in, it was interesting. They were like, do you want to publish it? We think you should because it is okay to have a negative review, but let me know what you think. So I read it and they were like, they didn't say annoying, but another word for annoying, like a little annoying on the positive side. And I
Oh,
was that's okay. Like I'm fine with that because
yeah.
I'm someone who needs a little inspiration for the soul. So, we published it and yeah, it's all good. And then Forbes, I was just like blown away because it's number one in front of John Maxwell. I was like, oh my God, he's huge. So I hardly have any following. It was
The
just like,
book is good. Can we just say that, please?
yeah,
The book is good. That's what
yes,
I want to say. Okay. And if the only criticism is you're too positive, well, that's one of your immutable characteristics, or not exactly that, but so you did what you wanted to do.
yeah.
Margaret is here, and you just read the excerpt where she talks, you
Oh,
talk in her with cohort with, yeah.
yes. Oh, hi, Margaret. So good to see you.
Okay. Are you in one of your readings going to talk about the backwards confidence model, or do you want,
Yes,
because we
actually, I think I'll keep going to get to that part. It's like only
okay, because otherwise I'll ask you about it. But if you're going to read it, then I'm not going to ask you about it.
okay, I'm gonna read it.
Okay, awesome. And
Okay.
I'm gonna follow along and hold up a graphic.
Mm, that's special effects, AJ. I love
Yeah,
that.
I'm doing it. Okay, go for it.
Okay, the real reasons we don't make a BFC. I've had conversations with thousands of women over the years about making BFCs, and the common theme has emerged. We just don't feel ready. But we think we would feel ready if only we had more time, more energy, or more money. All three of those, or rather lack of them, are legitimate barriers to making BFCs. Of course they are. But in my experience, they are more often than not simply fear dressed up as a reasonable excuse for inaction. It's hard to make intentional changes, let alone BFCs. The secret realization that unlocks our ability to make those BFCs anyway is that readiness is not a state of being, but a feeling that comes after you take action. Let me say that again. Readiness is not a state of being, but a feeling that comes after you take action. The feeling of readiness before we make a new change, especially a BFC, does not exist. So we must stop waiting to feel ready. Once you take action, you will feel ready. It doesn't happen before. You can do things without feeling ready. It's okay to be unready. It's by starting that we find ourselves on the path to making our BFCs. And only then do we find the confidence to keep going. Confidence comes after we make change, not before. We develop our confidence through taking action. Our understanding of confidence is backwards. We always assume that we must feel confident before we make a change in our lives, but it's the complete opposite. Take action first and confidence will follow. The model of confidence is backward. I will show you why so that you can take the next step forward and develop your confidence along the way. This is good news because change is easier than you think and nothing is wrong with you. But the way we view confidence is wrong. Taking a step forward when we don't feel ready requires courage, and even more courage when we feel perfectly unready. But once we take action, we will gain clarity, and that clarity will give us confidence. It's a self-reinforcing and builds our confidence over time. All types of change start with courage. Picking up this book proved that you are courageous and that change is possible. You just need to learn how to make change. And this book will teach you the steps involved. When we say we are waiting to feel ready before we do something, what this really means is that you are waiting to feel confident. We need to stop waiting to feel ready or confident before we act. The truth is, we may never get to ready. We can prepare for sure, but think about it. Our entire lives we've been asked if we are ready. Are you ready for school? Ready to get married? Ready to have a baby? The list goes on. That is the problem. We need to stop asking people if they are ready to do something they have never done before. You are not the problem, and your lack of confidence is not the issue. The model of confidence we have in society is backward. Rediscovering how confidence is created gives us a new lens to see our lives and make big decisions that serve us. Change is easier than you think once you understand how confidence is developed. This is how people currently think about confidence. And we got the special effect by AJ in the house. We feel stuck in life. We wait to feel ready. We wait to feel confident, and then we take action. We feel stuck and want to take action, but we wait to feel ready so that we can feel confident enough to take action. But readiness doesn't exist, so we remain stuck. Here is how confidence is actually created. We take action first, we develop your confidence, we feel ready, and we get unstuck. The real confidence model, we flip the coin. We start by taking action, which develops our confidence, and that confidence makes us feel ready. This process helps us get unstuck. If you are like me, I know you want to get unstuck first, but the reality is you get unstuck last. Instead of waiting for someone, a mentor, coach, spouse, parent, friend, or boss, to tap us on the shoulder and say, you're ready, we must step out onto the stage of life so we can feel ready. Now, I know I'm making this process sound similar. I acknowledge it's not. This is why I created the Get Unstuck Cycle of Change model that I will share in the next chapter. It will help you move through the change you've been wanting and waiting to make. It's by starting that we find ourselves on the path to our BFCs. And only then do we find the confidence to keep going. Of course, you have the option to choose to do nothing, and nothing in your life will change. And you can choose to live with regret. But who wants that? I hope that you know you are worthy, loved, and so deserving of your desires now, just as you are today. You don't need to wait any longer. Bestselling author of Worthy and Believe It, Jamie Kern Lima writes, self-confidence is the belief in your abilities as a person. Self-worth is the belief in your value as a person. You are already proven valuable just by being alive. You beat the odds. Just by being born, it's a chance in 1 in 400 trillion. So embrace that you are already worthy of your desires and build your confidence to do great things. Find your courage, experience clarity, and develop your confidence. There are no shortcuts, but I promise it will be worth it. Confidence looks different on everyone, but it feels the same on the inside. It's not about having perfect posture, smiling at all the time, speaking eloquently, being successful, or having lots of money. Confidence is the feeling of no longer comparing yourself to others. It's giving yourself permission to take up space, and it's the ability to be seen and accepted for who you are, knowing you are fully worthy as you are right now. It's belonging to yourself, and it's the energy that you emanate regardless of who is around you or the challenges that surround you. It's about stepping out of the wings when you don't feel ready and knowing you can trust yourself. When you do this, you transform into a beacon of light, hope, and inspiration for others to do the same. Confidence is also about no longer tolerating things that are not in alignment with your values or vision for your life. It's about using your voice, protecting your values, and celebrating your vision for your life. It's a sense of inner peace from the knowledge that you will find your way even when it's challenging. Confidence has been defined as a feeling of self assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. It is developed over time by getting positive outcomes. If you don't try, you won't discover your abilities and qualities you already have waiting to be developed. Making a BFC is a lot like a dance. There are many steps along the way. Some people will feel uncomfortable doing it, and for others, it will totally be your jam, making you feel like a superstar. You will travel forward at times, need to take steps back, and try again. You will feel lost until you find your beat with your feet. Making a BFC is like doing the cha-cha. Awkward until you find your rhythm. Then you will gain momentum and be on fire. So get excited to move and make change. If you already know the change you want to make, I'm excited for you. You are about to make some major progress, and you will change yourself in the process. There is so much that is possible for you that you can't even comprehend yet. And if you are still searching to know what change is required, I am thrilled for you. You get to write the next chapter of your life. I promise by the end of this book, you will have increased confidence and you'll be able to take the next right step and stop waiting. This is your invitation to get unstuck. My dream for you is that if you do the work, you will take center stage to your own life.
Yay. You're one of the I used to write when I was a ghostwriter a lot of books that were inspirational and motivational. And you're one of the few authors to come through workshop that have been totally focused. I am writing an inspirational, motivational book, and that is so clear. That's what you're doing. And I love that you stuck to your guns about that, that you were very sure about exactly what you wanted it to be. Can you share a little bit about why confidence matters to you so much? I mean, you've worked with thousands, tens of thousands of women and girls um, through dance and through coaching. Why was it so important to you to write this book?
So this is probably my only book, AJ. When you say this book,
Well,
um,
okay,
not
but I
my
mean,
book.
you were willing to overcome all these
Yeah,
fears and
yeah,
all these insecurities, and it was an ember that stayed with you for 10 years. So why is this so
yeah.
important is what I'm getting at.
Yes. So a lot of people will ask me, how do you know when you're ready to start a business or you're ready to expand or you're ready to hire the next employee in business? And everyone thinks that you're going to feel ready. So that was like a common theme that I was just always aware of. I'm like, man, everybody wants to know when you're ready. And then in dance, I would see so many dancers, we would wait for our cue, which was music, before we'd go on stage and perform. Um, but on the stage of life, for all of us, we often wait for our cue. And sometimes we don't trust it if we hear it. And sometimes we justify and deny ourselves. And so I believe that everything is possible when you have confidence, but the myth is that you don't need confidence before you start. And we need courage, and courage is accessible to all of us all the time, but we have to have that strength to flex our courage muscle. And I tell my dancers in dance, you're prepared, it's time to go. Because I don't want them to, if they don't feel ready, they think they're not good enough. And I've seen so many entrepreneurs struggle with analysis paralysis and miss opportunities because they wait to feel ready. They wait for this perfect time. I didn't know the angle I would take. I mean, when I started writing, I was like, I think I'm going to write a book. I told AJ in my interview, it's going to be called like Girl's Guide to Greatness. Like, I feel it. She's like, maybe not. And then my first publisher, my book was going to be called Unready, Set, Go, because we always have been programmed like ready, set, go. And it was like a little on the cutesy side. And then when I was talking to page two, they're like, well, like, tell me just in your own words, like, what do you want people to do? I'm like, I want them to make like a big change, like a big ass change, a big freaking change. And they're like, that's it. Like, that's a good name. Like, big freaking change. And so the brand and like the overall statement, and we actually added like BFC near the end because I just be like, I can't call it like big ass change all the time. So big freaking change was just like, it was good and it was different and it kind of stands out. And it puts a fun and a light sense to change because change is hard for all of us and we avoid it. But a big freaking change is kind of fun. It's like, oh yeah, I gotta make a BFC. So my heart was always to serve women and girls because that's what my whole work has been done. I do work with some men, but primarily women. And women lack self-confidence more than men. And there's a ton of stats and science suggesting why. And Oracle and Workplace Intelligence published a report that said 75% of people right now, this is a year old, so it's not right now, but a year ago, were feeling stuck personally or professionally. And of the 75%, 85% are feeling not confident, have low self-confidence. And so this is massive, and we're not talking about it, and we're brushing it under the rug for many different reasons. And even if we look at gender equity and equality, like we can have band-aid fixes to things, but really it's about the confidence gap that we're experiencing and the myth that you should feel ready before. So everything came together like throughout the journey. It wasn't a clear outline. I changed and pivot planned so many times. I had so many stories. AJ will tell you, she's like, I don't think anyone submitted so many words in their life. She'd be like, chop suey, like chop it out, like just give me what you really want to say, and then we'll work around it. And so many times I wanted to quit, and I was like, I don't think I have it in me. Like I'm going as hard as I can, and it's not good enough. And even when I got on with my first publisher, I submitted my manuscript that I had already worked on for like a year and a half. And they looked at it and they were like, great, yeah, this is a good start. And I'm like, this is not my start. This is not a rough copy. So you have to like embrace all of it. And now I'm really proud. Like I'm proud that it shifted and changed. And I really love the book. So
So, but okay, so you told the story, so that means I can comment because I've told this story in community before, but they said good start, and you said that's it. That is it. That is the max of what I can deliver. You'd already been through fire to do that. I'd already sent stuff back to you a million times and tried all those things, and you were the first to say that. But I remember saying to you, it's not the max of what you can do. It
mhm,
just feels that way. And sure enough, it was not. It
mhm.
did it did get better after that.
Yeah,
And yeah, I also want to point out that I don't, although you did not choose to come into workshop to become a better writer, you came in to write a good book. There's a difference. You are a good writer, and I don't think you would have said that about yourself
yeah, for sure.
initially, but wouldn't you agree that you are?
Yeah. And I'm more confident. Like I'm a confident person in many areas of my life, but writing and I took a public speaking course with Heroic, so I felt like I was learning more things. But it was very interesting because after I wrote the whole book, about 4 months later, I went through a really crazy time in my personal life and read the book as a reader, and I just sobbed, being like, oh my gosh, this is like the manual to my soul right now, and this is going to be my path forward. And it's different when you're a coach and you help people and you have all these tools, and then you have to apply it to your life in a very deep, profound way. So I felt like my hair stood up and I had like a holy moment and I felt like God was like, it's going to be okay. And when people read the book and they share their story, I know I'm like on purpose and I'm on my path. And that's really liberating and confirming that if you do the hard work, you learn the skills that you don't have, you can do incredible things. And so many times I wanted to give up, and I'm a strong-willed person, but this kicked my butt. Like people are like, "You're gonna write another one?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like I gotta recover. I gotta recover from this process." But I am so proud, and yeah, it's a cool feeling, and I want it to be inspiring. I did a reading at Indigo on Friday, and some of my dancers
Oh,
came. Yes, and there was about 45 people and all the books sold and all these random people came up and I got to feel like a celebrity signing the books. But this little girl, she was 13, her and her mom came up and the mom said, "I'm so glad that you shared the story that you struggled with reading and writing because my daughter like idolizes you and nobody would have ever known because you come on stage so polished." And she was crying because the mom's like, I feel like she realizes that things can turn around. And my own daughter struggles with reading and writing. And I just keep telling her, I'm like, oh, it's going to click. It's going to click. Like grade 6, grade 7 girl, like it is going to click. So, you have to kind of walk the walk. And now I can learn that it helped me become the person I am, even though I hated being the bottom of my class for a lot of times, a lot of ways. Yeah.
well, you're not bottom of your class. You're actually most anticipated, best,
Yeah.
critically acclaimed. Can I just say that all those
So
things
it's
again?
wild. Yeah, it's wild. When
Yeah,
they
I mean, you don't
indigo,
get that, Carla, you don't get that just 'cause.
yeah. You
You
get
don't.
it, you do 100 versions. That's when you get it, guys.
Listen, it takes what it takes, man. It
It
takes
takes
what it takes. But the book industry is unforgiving. Like, it's not like they're just like, here's for you. We just, because you did a book, we'll give you this prize. They are not gonna, you earned all of it. You earned all of it.
Thank
Um,
you.
so I want to thank people who are getting the book. I'm losing track. I know KP just picked up a copy. I think there was one other person who ordered a copy today. Susie, did you pick one up? Yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. We want to say thank you to you. If you'd like to get a copy, there's a link in the chat. We would love for you to support Kara if you can. Um, and of course, if today is not that day, it can be any other day. We're so happy for you to support her. Do you have another reading? Because we're gonna do something together. Did you have something else you wanted to share?
I thought I would just talk through the cycle of change model because
Yes.
it's a little long to read. And then we can go into the questions, and then I have a special
Well, I've
exercise.
been asking you stuff, but I'm
Yeah,
gonna ask you
if
some
there's
more
more
stuff.
questions. Yeah.
Yeah, one of my questions was about can you explain the cycle of change?
Yes. All right. So it's a 8-step process. And the first step is you acknowledge you're stuck. And this works for organizations as well as personal and professional lives. So you acknowledge that you're stuck and it's actually not a problem, but it's an alert indicating that there's more available to you. And I think just that reframing gives us permission to go and not have shame or feeling crummy about ourselves. And if you really think about it on a deep level, if you never felt stuck, it's because you don't think there's more available to you. Like you can't have everything and feel stuck, right? We're expanding. Yes, that's the visual. The second step is you identify the type of change. And for most people, we usually are not accurate with this part. We think we need a certain type of change, but it's a different one. And so I use the dimension of wellness by Maryland University, explaining there's 8 different concepts to make a person well. So I use that theory to go, okay, if this is what makes us well, this is also what makes us disconnected if we're not all working together. So it's intellectual change, it's environmental change, occupational change, social change, spiritual change, financial change, oh my gosh, physical change. And the last one is just out of my brain in this second, but we'll post it later. Okay. So identify the type of change. And often we go in wanting one type, but it's another type of change that we need. Then we go into the third step, which is manage your mindset. And this is really important for leaders because a lot of us go in with a certain style, and we don't see everybody for where they're at or what they need. So, managing your mindset is understanding the limiting beliefs that we have. So, for me, it was like, I'm not a good writer, I suck. That was really hard for me. And you have to manage that. And it's a daily task, it's a daily chore that you do. I give the analogy of working out. You don't get to work out once and you're in shape for the rest of your life. It's the same thing with your mindset. You have to manage it, you have to do the work. So, often we have voices in our head, and the voices are not actually ours. So, if you just give yourself a challenge tomorrow, and pay attention to what goes on in your head, like when you're driving, if someone cuts you off, like sometimes I'm like, mother beast, and sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, go ahead. And it depends, but it's so interesting, and we're ingrained with different lessons and learning. So managing your mindset is really, really, really critical. Then the next step is build momentum, and we build momentum within our comfort zone. So this is what's different than most change process, is that we get desperate for change, and so we go all in, right? Big or go home, and we don't know how to make incremental changes. And that also supports our mindset because we're flexing our courage muscle and we're getting a positive response. So when we build momentum, it's taking small incremental steps inside of our comfort zone. So we're not quitting our job, but maybe we're asking for better boundaries, or we're not going to hang out with certain people because it drains our energy. So those are small things that we can do to create the change we want. The next step is invest in yourself. And this is not the same as self-care. It's intention with reflection, is like how I like to describe it. So you can do any activity of your choice that fuels you up. It brings you some energy, but you're taking time to reflect and have a little bit of intention. So if I go for a deep tissue massage, which I love, I'm like, dig for gold, get anything out. I ask myself before my face goes down, like, what do I need to know today from my higher self? Or help me understand a solution to this problem in business? Or what am I missing? And I'm telling you, the awareness is incredible. And when they massage me, they're like touching my shoulder. I'm like, okay, Cara. And I talk to myself in my head, your shoulders are going to relax. All your tension's coming out of your body. Let it go. Let it go. Like I literally go into this state and then I get into great clarity. So it doesn't have to be a massage. It could be golfing, but you go golfing and you say, okay, I'm going to invest in myself because I'm worth it. I'm not going to feel guilty about all the work I have to do. And I'm going to be strategic to go, okay, I need a new tagline for this. Let it come to me on the golf course. And you will be amazed at what can come to you. Investing in yourself is also one of the steps that gets missed by a lot of females because we have so many things to do and we wear so many hats that we're not on our to-do list. And so I encourage you to put yourself on your to-do list so that you actually take care of yourself. After we invest in ourselves, we then act boldly. And when we act boldly, this is your BFC. This is your big freaking change, and it is always outside of your comfort zone. You will never feel ready, and there is a ton of fear there. But you have been flexing your courage muscle with those small incremental steps, and it gives you the power and the fuel to move forward. After that, we enjoy the journey. And this is hard for entrepreneurs and business leaders because we like knock it out of the park and we're like, okay, what's next? We got to simmer and we got to understand, what were the lessons, what were the positives, the negatives, what is our opportunity to grow? But where is the joy? We got to find joy in the journey. And then finally, the last step is you unlock your confidence. And unlocking your confidence is this ability because you did something you did not feel ready to do, and it gives you a sense of confidence. But you will get stuck again. And the reason why it's called a get unstuck cycle of change model is because we are always in motion and we are always navigating change. But this time with a quick model, I have like business people that say, oh my gosh, me and my team had such bad communication and we were fighting over stupid things. And now we just like, okay, let's do the model. And they just go bullet point through it. And it takes them like 1 minute to resolution. And they're like, we used to spend like days workshopping. But it's a quick way just to figure out like, what are you looking at and what do you want to do? Because often it's a lack of confidence disguised. So that's my model, AJ.
That's your model. Awesome. I know you work so hard on that. I wanna thank Nikki, Olivia, Ellen, Trevor, for getting copies of your book. That's awesome. Thank you so much for
Thank you,
supporting
guys.
Cara. Um, let's see, I've got a couple more questions I want to ask you. Oh, what's this one thing I want to know is what do you wish I know you want this for women, but what do you wish every person would do differently when it comes to confidence? Is there just something you wish we would all stop doing or start doing?
Yeah. So stop waiting to feel ready and start taking action. It's like that
Which you've
simple.
been saying. Yeah.
Honestly, that's what I want. And I can't change your life, but I could change a perspective or a mindset around making change and to understand like the neuroscience in chapter one, I talk about the stats and like why our brain works a certain way. Because once we understand it, then we remove the shame and blame and feel sometimes we're like, why is this so hard? Or why does this take me so long? Or why am I so scared? Or why didn't I do this thing? That doesn't get us anywhere. So it's like, oh, I get it. This is how our brains work. This is why I'm here and now I want to make a change. So if I could shift anything for people, it would be to lean into change and not to avoid it. Because I think when we lean in, we can explore and discover our best lives. And I know it sounds kind of crazy, but it really is about we have to make change. So that's what I want for everyone.
Thank you, Denise, for picking up the book. We appreciate it. Okay, so one point of clarification, because you work with dancers and rehearsal is part of it. That's preparing, right? And so one thing I learned from you is that people, and especially women, tend to over prepare. So, how do you know that you've prepared enough? What's the difference between preparing and trying to get ready?
Yeah. So preparation is giving ourselves a fixed amount of time, like, okay, I'm going to do it in this amount of time. And it's also a sense of trusting ourselves. So I always say, like, we could prepare forever and never blast off, right? Like, you could always improve. And dance is a journey. I always tell my dancers, you will never be perfect. You will never hit every single mark. And there is always more to do. But you are prepared and it's go time. And sometimes we need to tell ourselves it's go time, right? Even hitting the deadlines with the book, like, I just kept stressing out. And then I'm like, it's go time. It's go time. Like, there's no more time. And we can get stuck in inaction because we're striving for perfection. And Ellen's work is really great about this, the perfectionism procrastination loop. I mentioned her in my book, is that women are stuck in this cycle far more than men because we strive for perfection. And there's men believe they can achieve things through experience, and they believe higher in their competence, and women have lower self-confidence. So we want to build that up before we take action. So I tell my dancers it's go time. I tell my coaching clients it's go time. I'm like, we did the work. You were prepared. You rehearsed. You did your best. It's go time, because that's life. Otherwise, life is going to pass us by, and we're just on the sidelines peeking in. I'm like, do you want to stay in the wings? Your option is, do you want to stay in the wings as a dancer, or are you going to go perform your solo? Let's go. It's go time. They're
So
like, okay.
I'm hearing you say that we need to set a time, that we need to say this will be the preparation period and not have that be just an infinite thing.
It
Waiting
cannot
for
be
some
infinite.
sort of time. Yeah. Incidentally, Kara's mentioning Ellen Taif's book, the Mirror Door. So yes.
Excellent read.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you, Brian, for picking up the book. Thank you, Richard, for picking up the book. We really appreciate it. Cara Poppit, what is the change you want to see in the world now that your book exists in it?
I want people to become bolder and braver to do the things that really light them up. And specifically for women and girls, there's such a gender and confidence gap, and there's inequality in roles that if we can empower, I know it's more about females, but if we can all flex our courage muscle and we can all rise together. That's my wish, to close the gender gap and the confidence gap between men and women and the equality gap. Because I think, I mean, that applies to all of us, right? Men, women, we all have dreams and hopes, and I hope that this can just spark people into action.
All right, so two things. We've got one thing I'm going to ask you to do, but Kara has one thing she wants us to do. You want to go ahead with that, Kara?
Yes. Okay, so friends, this is going to feel a little uncomfortable. So you got to just know that up front. I don't want you to get off the call right now, so please don't be that person. What I want to do is it's called Hand on Heart, and I do these exercises in my book. You're going to all close your eyes. I'm going to just cue you. I'm going to put on some instrumental music. And I'm going to ask you some powerful questions, and you're going to get hopefully a new level of clarity on something. Maybe it's about your BFC that you want to make, but it's a very useful tool. And the only thing you have to do is listen. Try to stay as present as possible, and you focus on your breath. And so there's box breathing, where you breathe for 4 counts in, you hold your breath for 4 counts, you exhale for 4 counts, you hold your breath for 4 counts. So if you think of it like drawing your breath in a box, that can be very useful, and it calms our nervous system, and it brings us into our bodies very quickly, because we're all intellectuals and we all are high achievers here, and sometimes we need that clarity. So I'm going to test my magic on you guys. Well, I have direct access to you. So you're going to just keep your camera on. If you're comfortable with that, you can just put your hands on your heart, and I'm going to just get some music going. So we're just going to start by taking full deep breaths in through the nose for 4 counts and out through the mouth for 4 counts. Allow your breath to relax your body by taking full breaths in and out. Allow your forehead to unwrinkle. Allow your jaw to drop. Keeping your hands on your heart, I want you to let your tongue melt from the roof of your mouth to the bottom. Allow your jaw to drop. Let your shoulders drop. And imagine your heart expanding. Expanding to a new capacity. If you have thoughts that come in your mind, just acknowledge them and then let them go. And allow yourself just to come back to you, connecting your mind to your body, to your soul. Imagine yourself as a 90-year-old wise soul, looking back to you in this moment, at this time. And what would he or she tell you to do regarding the change you want to make in your life? What do you need to know to take action and to stop waiting? I want you to be aware of any insecurities that may come up. Acknowledge them and release them with love, knowing that they are no longer serving. And step into your biggest, boldest self with new appreciation, new confidence, new awareness, and new energy. What is the next right step you need to take? Whatever comes to your mind, ask yourself the question, why? And ask yourself the question, why again? Keeping your eyes closed and your body relaxed. Imagine a white, bright light of energy and healing coming through your body, through your mind, through your soul, giving you the power, the energy, the strength, the courage, the confidence, the stamina to take action. And give yourself permission to go before you feel ready. No more waiting, because your life is waiting for you. Let your shoulders drop. Take a moment of gratitude for yourself in this life, in this moment. And know that you are becoming your next version of you. When you're ready, you can open your eyes And if you have had clarity, you can put it in the chat of what came to you for a BFC. Maybe you have a change, a perspective. I don't know if you could have heard. Did you hear my music playing? Or did it not work? Oh, a little bit. Okay. Sorry for the full effect. You'll have to come back another time. Okay, let's see if anybody is going to flex their courage muscle and share in this amazing group.
I put mine in the chat.
Okay, therapy. That was a surprise. Awesome.
Yeah. My 90-year-old self was like, you need to go to therapy. So
Good.
I've done before, y'all. Apparently it needs to go again.
That's
That's fine.
great.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna, before I'm ready,
You're going to take that action.
I'm doing it.
Good.
Uh, self-care summer. That's right, Mara. That's right, Mara. Mara's in self-care summer.
Good.
Myself space. Kathy, you need some. Yes, you earned it, Kathy. Um, Denise. Oh, HPS grad. That's a big one. That's a big
Amazing one.
Oh, Denise. Oh, see the nice comment from jo let's see from Joey. Oh, good. Okay. Nikki, I'm going to ask some big name economists to read my book. That's huge. All right, y'all. Doing some big things. That's great. Thank you for guiding us through that, Kara.
Thank you for
So
having me.
y'all, I appreciate you so much. I want to say thank you so much for coming to support Care Poppet, but also coming this entire season. This actually concludes our season for Monday Night Reading. We'll start up again in the fall. Everybody gets the summer off from this. We'll let you know. So we love how you show up and support the authors. It means so much to all of us. Kara, you did it, man. You did it.
Oh, thank you guys.
Yeah, we're so proud of you, and we will sing your praises for many, many, many moons to come.